Morning. Take a look at yesterday. Day off for me. Not too many surprises. Easy as you like for Palace. Did the red card change this game? It's always important to have a look. Could have done, couldn't it? 37th minute red. See the reaction of the opponent. See if you want to lay the draw. Would have been nicer with a 0-0 at half time, wouldn't it? Would have been a clearer lay the draw second half. Inter Milan got their revenge with the second half winner for Marko Arnautovic, ex of West Ham. Eredivisie, your usual goal fest, but a surprise result for Excelsior yesterday, going for the title. Elsewhere, not much else to report. Mallorca were leading until the death. They'll be bitterly disappointed with this one. 94th minute equaliser for Osasuna. Having a good season though, the Islanders. A lot better than they expected. 10th in the league, even vying for a European place. Only 4 points away. The main matches today are in England and in the Champions League. So I'll do research for the Championship and for the Champions League, although I'm not sure how viable any research will be. These are one-off playoffs. Very, very tough to call. Championship. Coventry QPR, Frank Lampard's boys. Any others? It looks a tough old coupon. Leeds are away at Watford and Norwich against Preston. Let's have a look at Coventry QPR. See if we can unpack that. Don't forget the new manager element for Frank Lampard. Good recent run for Coventry, but quite clearly a fall foul of the bigger names. That's the worry. We have to see where QPR are. They've had 5 wins in 7, 2 wins in the last 3 away. Looking in good nick. So let's have a look. 12th against 13th. So mid-table mediocrity. Not much we can tell about a Frank Lampard side because there's only a few matches under his belt. But wins against 6th, 9th and 10th. Give them some hope against 13th. Only the 2 losses against teams below them in the league were 1-2. Saw both teams score. That might be an angle today. Both teams scoring. Did in the last head-to-head as well. QPR away. Far too many draws for their liking. So they'll be competitive, but they might not turn it into a win. Scored 2 goals only once against the top 16 away. So they might be vulnerable if leading today. 1.83 home favourite Coventry. Lots of goals scored in the last 15 minutes. I'm not sure how many of those under Lampard, but they have a real problem conceding in the first half. 68% of goals conceded first half. They'll need to change that. QPR, though, might not take advantage of that. 10 of their goals out of 13 scored in the second half. So we do expect second half goals here today. 8 0-0s at half time away. Only 2 at full time. So 53% 0-0s at half time for QPR. So watch out for that pattern today. All the other matches are a little tough. English League One, I would be looking purely at the market to start with. Stockport, Birmingham, Charlton, Leyton Orient would be my main focuses there. FA Cup, Nottingham Forest should have too much. Should be a bit like the Crystal Palace match yesterday, 0-2. If they're up for it, of course. We just don't know. Professional Development League, over 2.5 goals is your standard there. Champions League, don't know what much we can do research-wise. These are playoffs, one-off events in the Champions League. Very, very tough to research. I have done the research for members, but how much it's worth, I don't know. These are all high-profile events. Only one very, very strong favourite, and that's Brest. That's PSG, coming off the back of that 5-2 win against Brest domestically. As that was a deliberate ploy there, just to tell them We're the boss. Easy as you like as well. Dembele, hat-trick within the hour mark, and Ramos with a couple of late goals. So it was a little tighter at 3-2 until the 89th minute. So you might want to remember that. It's not exactly a rout until the 89th minute. So you'd expect PSG to be on top as they were domestically. It's very short odds for a playoff. It's going to be a different Brest, you would imagine, more defensively sound. But the rest of these matches, very, very tough to call. You've seen these sides wobbling domestically, Dortmund especially, PSV especially, not managing many wins recently. We just can't tell. So that's about it for this evening. I will see you, I would suspect, around 5:45 in case there is any problems with Paris Saint-Germain. But 7:45, Norwich got that draw against Derby at the weekend. They'd be disappointed with that. Portsmouth couldn't get that win against Sheffield United away, despite scoring. Derby, as I say, got that draw. Plenty to build on for Derby. But they are one of those sides who are in a spot of bother. Let's have a look at the standings for Derby and Oxford. Get to know your standings at this stage of the season. It gives you big motivation. Derby and Oxford, well, there's 9 points difference between these two. So that's comforting for Oxford. But Derby, with a win today, will break the 30-point barrier, could move them up to 19th. So that's the importance of 3 points there. So it's an interesting coupon. I'll see you for a very abridged video. There's not much else that I can add to it. We can have a look at a random League One match. Let's see. Charlton and Peterborough. So let's do that before I leave. You can check these out yourself at soccerstats.com. Charlton and Peterborough. Let's see if there are any patterns there. If you get this nonsense turning up, go on over there and we'll have a look at Charlton and Peterborough. So Charlton clearly the form side by a country mile since the 7th of December. Quite outstanding performance. Only the one defeat to come away from home. 5 wins in 6 at home, scoring 2 goals in 4 of the last 5, in 5 of the last 6. So it's impressive stuff. Peterborough, only the 1 win since the 20th of December. They are in a spot of bother. Conceded in the last 13 away, no win in 11 away, no defeat in 7 at home. 4 consecutive home clean sheets, 3 consecutive home wins for Charlton. They've certainly got the form in the book. They're in the playoff place as well. Peterborough just above the relegation zone and in trouble. Against the top 7 away, they've only scored that second goal once, and that was in defeat. They haven't won yet against the top 17 away. Charlton just look good, don't they? It was, well, they haven't met yet, these two, but Charlton, 3 wins in 4 against 19th and lower. On paper, the side to be with, aren't they? Look like they have a lot of goals in them as well. 63% scored in the second half at home. And Peterborough, it's about 50-50 scoring and conceding. Well, yeah, about that. Scoring and conceding away. 0-0s at half-time, 3 away, none at full-time, 7 at home, 2 at full-time. So watch out for a 0-0 at half-time in a Charlton home match. Comes in 50% of matches. And I'll be working on that 0-0 at half-time, trying to pick matches today based on some ideas, some criteria, because the system we were working on, cracking, all has its, I think, as its basis for selection odds. Can't be anything else, because it's the only way you can make a selection on the opening day of the season is via the market. We've got some ideas, of course. If you want to If you want to encourage a 0-0 at half-time, then under 2.5 goals should be the favourite, and the draw should be the favourite as well. So I'll see how I get on with my selections today. You'll know what I'm talking about if you attended the live stream at the weekend. Have a great day. It looks a tough one this evening. Very much one for the in-play stats, particularly in the Champions League. You can't discount anyone, really. You're going to see a reaction, I'm sure, from Brest to that 5-2 defeat, which was 3-2, don't forget, until the 95th minute. So this could be a lot tighter than 1.33 suggests. They've only got one chance at this, Brest. They're not going to be regulars in this competition. So I don't think they're going to be pushovers at all. Have a great day, and I'll see you on Telegram a little bit later on.